taking care of instrumentation and automation. It's my major role. So with this, I'm taking care of CSV also, so computerized system validation. So today we can chit chat with the computerized system validation. What is a computerized system validation? Why it is required? Then what is the regulatory requirements related to the CSV? Why the computerized system validation is must for all the software and hardware industries? So that we're going to uh, know about through this webinar. Okay. So before that, uh, I will explain you. So if any doubts is there, you just post the box. So we'll touch on the points. Okay. After completing this webinar. So before that, we'll start the session. Okay. Ajit, shall I start now? Yeah, it is
Yes, sir.
audible,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Okay. Okay. Before the see, who are all involving the computerized system validation? So that people's must to understand because it is a regulatory requirements. Everybody knows. Okay. So nowadays, pharmaceutical industry, not only the pharmaceutical industry, all the software industries. So we are using the softwares. So that software, whether it is validated or not, why it is required to validate. So that kind of doubts it will become. So for that answers we are going to give here. So first thing, so shall we move the second slide? So we can start with second slide. So it's a content what we are going to take today. Ajit, can you help me to do the slides? Yes. So these are all the things today we're going to contact. So this content only we're going to explain. It's a basic CSV procedure. Okay. So CSV regulatory requirements and what is the purpose and benefits of CSV and what are all the methodology it is available in the CSV, failure and consequences. Then what is the program implementation of the CSV. So these are all the five content to be explained here. So before entering these regulatory requirements, why CSV? Why CSV? So everybody aware CSV. What is meant by CSV? So it's a computerized system validation. So what is computer system validation and computerized system validation? That we're going to check first. See, computer system validation in the sense it is a system based like our IT systems. So only for related to the computers uh, in a hardware and software that is called computer system validation, but computerized system validation in the sense, see, it's a machine learning. So what are all the machines is there, it is communicated with the computerized based on computerized computer system. So that system to be validated, so that is called computerized system validation. See, computerized system validation, it is introduced based on the GAMP practices because see, regulatory requirements only for the requirements. What are all the things is required related to software and hardware, but that requirements how we going to implement that things, it is available in the GAMP categories. So GAMP procedures. So first thing, computerized system validation procedure starts from USFDA and EU Annex 11 because there are the major regulatory bodies. So they required for uh, computerized system things in pharma industry and other software industries also. Yeah. First, we can go through the regulatory requirements. So, what is the USFDA 21 CFR regulatory requirements? Why it is required? See, if the any manufacturing product or any lab production, it should be a 21 CFR compliance nowadays. So for that 21 CFR compliance, we required related to electronic data and e-signatures. So both those two things, it is covered in the 21 CFR Part 11 compliance part. So that only we are provided here in this slide. So it is occupied majorly design and development, manufacturing and clinical trials. So all those things, all the software related things, it is covered 21 CFR Part 11 electronic records and electronic signatures. So what I'm coming to say, so the regulatory requirements, what are our known regulatory requirements? It is only the requirements. That requirements how to implement in the industry. That procedure we going to the GAMP category. So GAMP industries. Okay. Before that, I will let you the industrial revolutions. So I will explain the industrial revolution. See in 1780s, the first industrial revolution it is coming. It is called industrial 1.0, then industrial 2.0, 3.0. Now we are in 4.0, industrial 4.0. So industrial 4.0, it is completely smart industries. So all these things, it is connected with the computerized system. So it should be validated through computer system validation. Okay. So example, industrial 1.0, it is completely mechanical uh, resources we are used like a steam and machineries, everything it is used steam and mechanical instruments. So second, industrial 2.0, we are using for electrical based equipment to protect the mass production. Then industrial 3.0, it is came. Industrial 3.0, it is automation and IT things it is involved like a PLC, SCADA controls, everything it is involved in the industrial 3.0. But industrial 4.0, it is different from 3.0. We are going to smart industry like IoT system, cyber security system, then cloud computing system. So like that systems we are going to implement in the industrial 4.0. So all these things, basics we can take in the sense, everything it is starts with computer system. So computerized system validation, it is must for all the industries. Uh, Based on that, regulatory have the requirements. So these requirements only explained in the 21 CFR and EU Annex 11. It is a GMP practice of European countries. So both those guidelines only we are going to take majorly because in India particularly, so we are maximum uh, pro releasing the pharma products and other industry products, it is going to used in the US and European countries. So that's why we are following majorly EU Annex 11 and 21 CFR guidelines. So 21 CFR guidelines, what it is said, already I explained, it is an electronic record and electronic signatures. So here 21 CFR Part 11 record and electronic signatures subpart P. These things, it is explained about the electronic data. Okay. Yeah, we'll move the next slide. Yeah, see that what are all the regulatory requirements is there. All the requirements, it is uh, to implement through the procedural control. That procedure, it is called as GAMP, Good Automated Manufacturing Practice. So GAMP having a different version, GAMP 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. See here, currently the latest version GAMP 5, it is released on 2008. In this GAMP 5, having a software classification and hardware classification. So here we are mentioned how the GAMP 5 categorize the softwares, classify the softwares. So that we are going to check. See, there are 4 categories is there in GAMP 5. Category 1, category 3, category 4, and category 5. See, most of the equipments, it is under category 4. What are all the developed equipments, it is under category 5. See, I will explain what is my category 1 to category 4. Category one, it is an infrastructure software like our systems, computer systems. See, OS based operating system, it is called category one. It will undercome category one. So it is an infrastructure software. Actually, the category one software, it is a base platform software. If any applications, it should be run through category one only, infrastructure software only. So category one classified as it is a infrastructure software. It is a base software like our Windows and other operating system, Unix and Ubuntu. So like that. Then we are moved to category three. Why category two is not there? I will tell you. It is already absoluted. Why? Because category two is called as a firmware software. It is mentioned in GAM4 category, but category 2 absolute and developed by category 5. Why? Because all the firmware based softwares, it is developed in category 5. It's a development, so that's why the version is changed to category 5. uh, Category 3, it is a non-configured software. Non-configured, it's a ready-made software, standard softwares. We cannot modify, we cannot do anything in the software. Only the developers, initially they are developing. At that time, we can change in everything. And once it is validated and implemented, we cannot modify anything in the non-configured software. We cannot configure also, like our uh, small HMIs, biometrics, firmware based softwares. So these kind of things, it is undercome category 3. Then we'll move to the category 4. Category 4 is the important because all the industries using the DCS and SCADA, PLC based things, HMIs, Windows based applications, configured software. So this is called category 4. We can configure the base application. If example, already I have one a Siemens application or Rockwell application or any other software, Trackwise or SIPDAS or any other Documentum softwares I have. So in this software, I can configure my pages, my screens, my graphics, and my requirements. So these kind of things we can do in category 4. Then category 5. Category 5, it's a simple example. It is a C++, Java, Visual Basics and all, because already I told category 2, what all the firmware development is there, the same coding technology is applicable in category 5. See, if you want develop anything, it is done by category 5 only. That software, it is qualified as per category 5. If example, SAP, we can take. So the SAP, the application, it is under come category 4, but the backend of SAP software like ABAP, it is under come category 5. Why? Because the coding technology we are using Visual Basic, C++, everything we are using through develop the coding. So it is under come category 5 because it is a customized things. So what are all the defined things? It is under come category 4. What are all undefined and customized thing? It is under come category 5. So now GAMP5, it is clearly explained. There are 4 categories software. All the 4 categories we are explained here. Then how to implement the classified software in computer system validation. So we'll go through the next slide. Yeah. Yeah, Jit, we can go through the 4th slide. 5th. Yes. Yeah, here. So the implementation, the software classified, then how to implementation. So before implementation, what is the purpose and benefits of the implementation? See, if I implement, what are all the benefits I can take? It's a effective or safety, accuracy and integrity. Because CSV, why it is coming, we are all known. We need to eliminate the data integrity and reliability of data. So for that purpose only, CSV is implemented. So here we are going to explain the methodology of CSV. Okay, so methodology in the sense, see, we are confirm the procedural controls. So what are all the procedures is required in the CSV? So we need to examine the software and confirm the software activities. We need to define the requirements, and we need to identify the risk. Then uh, uh, we need to implement in the machinery side. So these are all the things. It is under come the CSV V module. I will explain the V module uh, because based on the V module only, CSV it is going to implement. Okay, so V module, what it says. So first we going to do the risk assessment of software. So once the software risk identified, based on the risk assessment, user requirement will be developed. User requirement and functional specification will develop. So in this functional specification, what are all the software functions it is there that we going to address. Uh, so after functional specification, design specification, we need to do design in the sense there are the configuration designs. So configuration design specifications, everything we going to do in the design specifications. Then the design specifications, once it is done, the system it is going to implement. So install the software based on the IQ and OQ and PQ. So these are all the validation deliverables we are going in the complete life cycle approach of CSV. Example, that implementation of IQ based on our design specification. So what are all the design requirements it's there? It should be satisfied in the IQ. Then operational qualification we are doing. So operational qualification, it should be uh, compiled with the functional specification. Based on the functional specification, operational qualifications, it should be satisfied. Then all these things, it should be addressed through PQ. There only our requirement, whether it is completed or not, like that we are going to validate. So based on the PQ, then validation summary report, then complete CSV will be completed. So this is the V module. It is approached by GAMP procedure. So the same only we are following for all the industry to validate the computerized system. Yeah, we'll proceed next slide. Yeah, this is a CSV program implementation. See, what all the V module I explained, the same thing we are going to validate the software, define and validate the policies, and develop the SOPs and templates, train the staffs, inventory the software, and access periodize the system software. Then what are all the plan it is available in the document, then complete validation should be completed. So this is the process flow of program implementation of CSV. So it is a brief explanation of CSV, not for in-depth. So again, I will tell you, maybe I hope it is useful for you at least what is meant by the CSV and other things. So here I quit. So complete CSV things. It is we'll chat with other session. Thanks for Ajit. Thanks for all.
Thank you, Balganesh sir, for giving the time to this webinar. Actually, Balganesh sir is a very busy schedule. So thank you, sir. Thank you again. And if any questions, we put here in chat box. Sir, here is some questions in our chat box. Balganesh sir?
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
Sir, here is some questions.
Wait a minute. Can you help to read the question? Here will explain the same.
Second, sir.
Yes, sir. In India, is there any pharma industry which comply 4.0? It is, this is the question.
Yeah, it is a good question. See, all the pharma industries, they are going to approach the 4.2 touchless factory. So they are start to implement. So before that, we are complete automated system should be in the 3.2, right? So now we are first step in the 4.2. Actually, I think so. Still now, no industries. There is no industries implemented in 4.0 in India.
Uh, can I add something in that?
Yeah, please, sir. It's a chit chat. So what are
Yeah,
the experience? Because I don't have a must experience. So anyway,
yeah,
we can, yeah, based on your experience and clarification, we can come to know everything. Yes,
right.
please.
Actually, myself, Rohit Gupta. I'm working with Biocon. Previously, I worked with the Dr. Reddy's, Jubilant, and Lupin. So
Yeah, sir.
currently, there is no full-fledged company who is implemented Pharma 4.0, but near to that, we have implemented in Dr. Reddy's. There was completely automated EVPR is being implemented from end-to-end automated process is implemented from raw material to final product. It is completely automated. There was no single paper was used in that.
Yeah, sir.
And Strides Arcolab also they have implemented commissions regarding the related to EVPR. And so many companies are going to use MES. That MES is manufacturing execution system. That is helping out the process to remove the paper VPR.
Yeah, sir. It's correct.
Yeah.
That's why I'm coming to say it. So we are in first step in the 4.0.
Right.
So yeah, sir. So in India, we are not implemented completely in 4.0, but in MNC companies like food manufacturing, already they are implemented at the 4.0, like Nestle. They are implemented completely 4.0 in last year. So that articles is there. I will share all those things. So like that, we're going to implement in pharma industries also. As soon, I hope as soon we're going to implement, because many industries like Lupin, Zydus, Bharat Biotech, Cipla, so all the industries, they are started the complete digitization in 4.0. So we are going to approach another year. We're going to approach 4.0 complete industrial automation. Yeah, I hope if any other questions, please, can you explain? We'll share it. That conversation is good.
Actually, this is Uday here. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, sir, sure.
Actually, I
Please.
like for mostly for category 4 software, no, the developer or someone, the vendor will be doing the validation, right? Once it is developed.
Yes.
So if any pharmaceutical company is procuring that software, is it required once again to do the validation, or else we can consider the validation which is done by the vendor?
Yes, sir. That only I explain the category. See, example, what are all the vendor is developing? It is it's a development stage. It is based on the software aspects. See, like software, it should be validated through once we are purchased, once we are implemented in our industry, it should be validated. Why? Because see, once coding is completed, they are validating under category 5, but we going to validate as per category 4 because we are going to configure. So it is under category 4 configurable software. So it should be validated because then only because it is applied by our applications, our requirements. So should be fulfilled or not, that should be validated with ourselves. So that's why once we going to purchase by vendor, even though vendor is validated, we need to validate the software as per our requirements, user requirements.
Okay.
I hope it's clear.
I just wanted to add something into that. Actually, whenever we are purchasing the software, one software having multiple functionalities.
Yes.
So
Yes, sir.
our requirement may be the different. So that has to be tested based on our specific requirement.
Exactly.
And since nobody is perfect in this world, right? So your requirements are matching with that software. That's why we have to test it in our environment.
Correct, sir.
That's why that's why we are telling that GAM 5 is nothing but it is a risk based validation approach. So what
Yes,
are the risks associated with your requirement that has to be identified and has to be tested.
yes, correct.
So that's why it is required to be tested at your site.
Yes, sir. What for that classic example, we are regularly for our understanding, even though because nobody understand for regular softwares like SAP, TrackWise system, all the documenting softwares we are using regularly in pharmaceutical industry. But whether it is how to validate, whether it is under GAM category 5 or GAM category 4. So that questions, doubts will come. So I will clearly say it is a configurable software. It is under category 4.
Scrubber.
Yeah, please. If any other questions.
Sir, can you please repeat what you told? It was not clear.
No. See, classic examples I am telling for category 4 and 5. See, example, our regular softwares, we are regularly using Documentum software, TrackWise, and other SAP softwares. So these and all undercome category 4. Why? Because it is a configurable software. So it should be validated in our industry also. Once we are purchased from SAP team, anyway, we going to validate as per our user requirement. So the validation, it should be required for ourselves once we are purchased the software. So that's why I'm coming to see.
Sir, I have a small question. Like as you said, configurable software, we are doing a GAM 4 categorization and validation. But if in
Yes.
case like GAM, 3, for example, like any chiller or any kind of a mimic screen that we are
Yes.
procuring and doing that, for that, is it mandatory to perform a CS, validation, or is a vendor document is more than enough for that?
No, sir. It should be validate. Why? Because again, I'm telling you. See, it is a firmware based. Okay, the OS is firmware based. We cannot modify anything in the firmware. Anyway, it is fulfilled our requirement or not. How we going to come to know? So that based on our validation approach, then only we can come to know. So our requirement, it should be fulfilled. So it should be validated, sir.
Okay, so irrespective of our GAMP 1, 3, 4, 5, we have to perform a CSV. We should have a document.
Yes, sir. That's why we are preparing the validation plan and deliverables. If example, we have the SOP in our CIPLA for 21 CFR, 21 documents. Like, see, example, I'm coming to say it starts from URS, GXP, and other risk assessments, functional specification, configuration, validation plan. So all these things, it is undercome category 4 because we need to completely validate the software through category 4 and 5 because it is a configured software and customized software. If suppose we are doing category 3 like a firmware based software, it's not required to complete all the document procedures. So we can mandatory documents we can utilize like our software category identification like GXP, then other things like IQ and work QPQ. We need to follow. So that's why I'm going to say, see, complete documentation procedure, it's must for category 4 and 5. So based on the mandatory requirements and based on the category 3 and category 1.
Yeah, sir. This is
yeah, sir.
Yeah, I have one doubt, sir. In which stage we need to implement the CSV?
Sorry, sir, can you?
No, in which
Yeah,
stage we need to implement the CSV, sir?
which stage?
Yeah.
No, stage in the sense, see, if you have purchased the software, it should be validated through CSV, sir. If it is a requirement in your requirement, like you have a data logging, actually your software have a operation and data logging, electronic record, audit trials, then backup and restoration. So these kind of things, it is available. It should be validated through CSV.
Yeah, yes, sir. I agree on that part. But in my equipment was now only installing in the area. It is a newly we are constructing the company. Now we are installing the equipment. Parallelly, I can start the further equipment validation also. Parallelly, I can do for the CSV validation. That is the main.
Yeah, it is must, sir. Because if you are going to purchase the equipment without software, you cannot operate the system, right?
Yeah, yes, but in the most of company they are not following. That's what the thing I am asking.
In
Yes,
that, and
sir.
I just wanted to add, since you are having the new facility, so just first IQ you can do parallel. Equipment IQ and CSV IQ you can have parallel. Okay, and then you should have CSV OQ first, because equipment you will be operating through the SCADA, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So first you have to validate the software. So you have to perform CSV OQ first. Then you can perform the equipment OQ, sorry.
Okay.
That approach you can follow.
And in for that, any supporting guidelines is there or what? Any
Actually,
mandatory?
guidelines, GAMP guideline is not telling any sequence, but there is a deliverables you have to follow. Actually,
Yes,
GAMP
sir.
guideline is purely telling about the CSV, but always there is a conflict between the equipment qualification first or CSV qualification first.
Yeah, that is the thing. Yeah.
That's why I'm telling, just it is a simple logic. When you are performing the IQ is nothing but the identification of the installation part, right? So that you
industries they are looking for the only equipment systems only. Then later
right.
only performing the CSV. That is what I asked, which is the priority.
No, but suppose you perform the equipment OQ, but in equipment OQ you will be operating the equipment through the SCADA or software, right?
Yeah, yes.
But it is not validated, then how it is being performed. Suppose you will put the set point. So it is general understanding that software should be validated first. Then you can use the software.
Correct, sir. In addition to Rohit sir, it is correct thing. Why? Because see, up to IQ, the equipment qualification, it's done also. Sorry, some noises is there. Sorry to say. Yeah, sir. See, before doing any equipment work, the software should be validated, because through the software the equipment is operated. It's must validated by the computerized system validation.
Yeah, thank you.
Requirements also the same. Yes.
So one more question. So some
Yes, sir.
say like with CSV validation, PLC validation also should be done, like analog inputs, whether output is coming or how much analog inputs are. Is it a part of CSV or else it is like separate validation system?
So absolutely, it is a part of CSV, because in GAMP guidelines is there are software classification as well as a hardware classification. So if CSV, so PLC validation is called as CSV only. So it is a called of hardware qualification in CSV thing. So during the IQ, you are validating all the PLC installation and SCADA installation, as well as the OQ. We're going to test the PLC IOs, everything, whatever you're telling. So that should be validated. So PLC validation, it's a part of CSV only.
Sir, now during validation, how the documentation is will be done, sir, for a CSV. See, for example, we are doing a CSV validation for entire software and hardware. how the documentation will be done, whether it is only pre-approved or it is like a post-approval of screenshots. I mean, how, what is the correct procedure?
Yes, sir. Actually, CSV is based on the screenshots. We need to attach all the softwares. It should be it's with proof. So the screenshots and additional requirements, the like user manuals and operating procedures. So these and all, it should be attached with the documentations. If like it is a software, so it is possible to take screenshots. So we can prove in the sense during the test procedures, we need to take a screenshots and attach with the document because it is a good GDP practices. So if even though we are witness the software, we need to prove the auditor and regulatory requirements to fulfill. For that purpose, we to take the screenshots and additionally we will provide the user manuals. If any gap is there for user manual and your practical things, that should be addressed through your procedures, your own SOPs. You need to define your SOPs based on our guidelines. So based on the procedures, we going to explain the auditors. So the documentation flow, it should be already it is available in the GAMP file, the document procedure that is called a validation plan, the deliverables. What are all the deliverables we need to do during the CSV validation? So once we go through, definitely we can do the validation, CSV validation as per the document flow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello. Hi, this is Aplav here.
Yeah, sir, please.
Hi. So I wanted to ask one instance how we will go about that. See, if any equipment, for any equipment like we see any water system, so if something is changed in the screens, some slight modifications, or we have changed some screen or some PNID in the screen, so again we have to do the CSV, or if there is any other things we can do for that system?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it is a very good question. See, I will explain to you. If your software, we are doing the functional and configuration specifications, right? Functional
Yes.
specification and configuration specification, right? So if any changes in functional specification, it should be qualified. Why? Because our software functional completely changing. But you are doing only the graphics change. Already the IO is configured. Example, I will tell you one pH meter you are configured in our SCADA for reading the values only for data logging system. So if you are change the graphics from first page to second page, there is no need to validate the complete software qualification. But if you are changing instead of pH meter, you are put additional temperature configuration, it should be validated, sir.
I wanted to add in this. Actually, you have to see what are the addition you are doing. That addition is reflecting how much in the previous document. Suppose if you have changed only one text, right? If suppose that text is previously captured in DQ, you have to make an addendum in the DQ. It is captured in the PNID, then you have to make a revision of that PNID. If suppose that text is reflected in software design specification, then you have to make an addendum to the software design specification.
Correct.
That you have to keep in the mind that that particular change is reflected in how many documents which is qualified previously to that related to that equipment.
Correct.
That only
So
you
that's
have
why.
to make the addendum. If suppose if it is captured in each and every document, then you have to prepare addendum to the each and every document. Very simple. Because otherwise, if suppose you have not did any qualification, then later on, suppose you left the organization and auditor is coming, then they will be seeing the different text in the document and different text in the physical. So that will make a conflict and it will lead to the observation.
So again, that will be CSV, or any other name is there for that particular
CSV only. See, it is simple. Whatever is the document, if it is reflected in the equipment qualification, then you have to perform the equipment qualification. If it is change reflecting in the computer system validation document, then you have to perform the addendums to the equipment computer system validation also.
If yes, sir. In addition to this, if example, we'll give the example for this. See, if you are changing any text in the first screen in graphics, so it should be logged with any CSV related documents, because we need to explain the earlier qualification and new qualification. So that's why we're going to follow the particular document for addendum. So that's why coming to see. Yes, sir.
Right. I mean, suppose one IO is you have added one IO, right? So that IO is being simulated in as a part of OQ. Then you have to make one small addendum for the OQ. Then that particular tag maybe you are taking into the report, right? Then you have to add that tag in the report, and that report format may be the part of the software design specification, right? So that again you have to make one small addendum to the software design specification, because earlier that tag was not the part of the report. Then again you have to give the access to that particular tag to some operator. Operator can we change the set point, or supervisor can change the set points, or again you will configure the alarms. Then you have to perform the alarm challenge test. So respective test, if it is captured in the one document, then you need to change only one document. If that respective test is captured in multiple documents, then you have to change the multiple documents. It is simple thing. It is
So
not.
that's why I'm coming to say.
Yeah, it is not.
Another instance I have that if I want to change user access levels, like we have 5 levels of
Yes.
access, and we are changing
Yes.
in that. So for that, we will be performing only that test, or we have to perform from the initial?
No, it's a privilege, right? So privilege in the sense we can perform only the particular thing. Additionally, that OQ, operational qualification. Why? Because the user privilege test, it should be, user privilege, it's not a problem. If you are going to change any user groups, then it should be validated, because the privilege will be changed for the user, right?
And privilege only will be there in OQ only. So you can just make addendum to that OQ only.
Yes.
Okay.
So OQ only we can perform, it is enough.
OQ, and I think software design specification, again, I think it will be part of the SDS. So two
Yes, sir.
documents you
See,
will be needed actually.
Okay.
Yes, sir. If any changes you are doing in the OQ or IQ or functional design specification, it should be reflected in reference traceability matrix. It should be must in the CSV, because it's a tracking of complete qualification things. So RTM, the reference traceability matrix, it's good for referring for all the changes. So what are all the changes in future, or any deviation incidents, everything you are captured. How about you are coming from the instance? So it should be refer in the RTM, reference traceability matrix. So it should be reflect all these things in the RTM. So if any OQ, any changes you are doing, it should be updated in the reference traceability matrix, sir.
Okay. Myself, Aplav again. I have again 2 questions. Sorry again, but
Yeah,
I will
please.
ask.
No,
Mhm.
nothing issues, sir.
So some sir said that we have to do first CSV OQ, then equipment OQ. So my question is that
Yeah.
in CSV OQ, that alarm test will come. So my doubt is that it can be done parallelly, because in equipment OQ and CSV OQ will be same, means alarm testing. So
Yes. It's.
I think this alarm test you need to perform either one document. If you have already completed in CSV OQ, then why you will be testing again the equipment OQ?
Yes, sir. In addition to this, it's must validate in CSV. Why? Because it should be available in the computerized system, right? So it is better during the equipment alarm challenging, the alarm should be logged, in the sense it should be validated through CSV. If it is not logged, you can change, you can select whichever the first, no issue. But it should be logged. The electronic data is available, then it should must captured first CSV qualification.
okay, thank you.
Well, in validation, just keep in the mind that test should not be repeated in, suppose, duplicacy of validation. Suppose something you tested in equipment validation also, and then testing here also, then again conflict may come. So avoid try to revalidation of the
Correct,
same
sir.
thing. Yeah.
So one doubt
Yes.
regarding the change in software. No, anyway, we are going to put in change control and we are going to revise the operation qualification. We'll be doing the changes. We'll be doing the operation qualification. Is it still required to go back to the functional specification, do the changes, amendment of functional specification, or directly as part of change control, we can revise it and we can do the qualification?
Yes, sir. This doubt also it's good. See, if any changes up to operational qualification, uh, which change you want, that particular document only we can revise. So it should be reflected in the tracking of RTM also. It should not be, if it is your change, it should be impacting the functional specification, then functional specification document should be revised. Then configuration document should be revised. So like that. Okay, this change control, change request is anywhere we going to take. For example, in your IQ itself, you are additionally added some instrument or added some equipment. It should be raised through tracking through change request only. So if IQ means that time that IQ only we can change, but it is impact any functional of software, then again you need to revise the functional specification.
Okay, fine, sir.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay.
Uplab here again. Another question.
Yeah, sir. Please.
Yeah, we have some machines like Fedegri Autoclave. Okay,
Yeah.
they are supplying validation software documents, which are full software is validated. As we ask for our requirement, they do their qualification, validation software qualification, and they send it. And same thing is added in their IQ OQ document, means in equipment document. So we have to prepare separate CSV document again, or we can use that only.
No, whether your procedure and requirement, that's why your internal procedure and requirement, it is fulfilled that vendor document.
Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not. So which are not in that validation software document, it is included in their IQOQ document.
Yeah, that's
So
why I'm going to say, see, if it
yes.
is fulfilled your requirement and procedure, your internal procedure, so no need for a separate validation. But it is not fulfilled, it's must validated through our internal procedures.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, sir.
Sir, Subhash here. Sir, are we doing any situation requalification of CSV, or only amendment we are doing?
No, requalification also we can do. If example, if you have a machine, okay, if you have a machine, for that you are implemented on SCADA. Okay, sir, example I'm telling you. So that same SCADA, if you are going to use some other equipment, okay, but other equipment also having a SCADA, okay, both the functional is same, both the SCADA is same, but if you are using once the SCADA fails, if you are using the same SCADA to implement other machine, that time we're going to requalify the system. Why? Because see, we need to recheck the alarm testing, privilege testing, everything. So for that purpose, we are going to requalification. So requalification, it should be, sir. Revalidation, it should be.
Okay.
So the one more. So generally for autoclave, we'll be having category 3 softwares, like in HMI it will be there. So that will not be 21 CFR Part 11 compliant software also. So in such case, still we have to perform CSV for category 2 also, like basic checks it has to be done, or it is not required?
Yes, sir, it is required. Why? Because what are all the screens you are, even though that is a text panel like operating software, through software, the equipment is operated in the sense, it should be validated, sir. Why? Because so the screen should be captured through graphical representation as a documentation. Why? Because we're going to check through during audit. So how the operation can be. So that it will be reflect through CSV only, sir.
Okay, irrespective of 21 CFR Part 11 complaint also, we have to perform this validation, CSV validation, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good
This is
session.
Satyamurthy.
Yeah, please.
Satyamurthy. I have one more question to the revalidation only. See, for example, I have validated the system. I am not changing anything or any activity. for example, for AHO and LAFs and all, we are doing frequent yearly once qualification and 6 months once requalification. In such a
Correct.
way that we have defined any procedure to do the requalification anywhere in guidelines, anything says to do the requalification or not required.
Sir, again, I'm telling you, if you are not change any functional and configuration thing in the software, if you are not doing any changes in the software, no need should be.
I wanted to add in this. Actually, there is a guideline. It is mentioned periodic verification. You have
Yes,
to
sir.
maintain the periodic verification checklist. If you are finding any major changes in your computerized system while performing the periodic verification, that time you can decide it has to be validated or only addendum differential qualification need to be performed. Something you can decide. But periodic
Thank you.
verification has to be done for computerized systems.
Yeah. Thank you. Any timeline is there to check that, or any procedure specifically in this document only we need to verify like that? Anything is there?
No,
For
there is
example,
no time. Oh, yes, yes. Can you
please.
repeat, sir?
See, for example, we have a protocols to do the requalifications. For example,
Yes.
for air handling units, we will do yearly ones. In
Yes.
such a way that, as you're saying, periodic verification we need to do. For that, any specific protocol is there, or through protocol we have to do, or any simple checklist is sufficient, or any timeline is defined to do that. For example, yearly ones or 2 years once, like that.
Oh, that's why I'm going, sir. Sir, if you are not doing any changes, actually, before that, I will clarify. There is no timeline. It's there for a periodic qualification and all. That should be defined based on your requirements, sir. If you are keep on changing the screens or keep on changing the changes in computerized system, it should be verified through periodic verification. Okay, why? Because sometimes we are going to, if example, I have 5 machines. These 5 machines, 3 machines, I keep on changing the alarms or additionally adding the IOs. So that should be qualified also. Even though qualified also, I don't know about it is completely qualified. What are all the things is added, right? So that should be addressed through periodic qualification. That timeline defined based on your requirements. So if some automated industry like our mechanical industries, they are having a conveyor line, so they cannot change anything in the line in the software related. So these kind of things, they cannot do any periodic verification test. But in pharma industry or any other software industry, they are keep on developing. They are additionally adding the things and removing the things from the graphics and back end, the IOs, hardwares, everything. So it should be periodically verification. It must that timeline should be mentioned in your own procedure, sir.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
I mean, reference traceability matrix. Can you please explain, sir? I mean, what it have and what and all to be captured in this?
Yeah, it's a good question, sir. See, what are all the functional configuration and test procedures like IQ and OQ? So it should be reflect in the reference traceability matrix. So reference traceability matrix in the sense complete validation plan, the validation deliverables, it should be satisfied or not as per our user requirement specification. So that tracking system only for the reference traceability matrix. I hope you understand.
Yeah. Fine. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Balganesh sir. So
Yeah, thank you, Swendu. Thank you. This is a very good session. So
I think
we'll take
one person,
yeah,
Ramu,
sir.
something. Ramu, one person was having the doubt. He not to speak up.
No, I was some of
Yeah.
the asking the questions, so I thought to explain why the periodic validation is required. What are the deliverables you need to capture in the periodic validation? So most of the things in the periodic validation, as per the computer system validation, you need to do the 5 years once. So based on the criticality, so what and all see, what are the deliverables is captured earlier. So what are the incidents happened? So any changes in the systems. So this and all you need to check the periodic validation. So any major changes is there or number of instances happened. So we need to, the instance is completed or not. So you need to check checkpoints in the periodic validation. So I thought to explain. And one more thing, earlier the person is asked the why you need to you have to do the qualification entire thing. So if any changes in the functionality, so you need to do the functional or addendum functionality. If there is no change in the functionality, for example, if there is installing on a pH meter or any instrument, okay, there is no functional changes, just you need to take the addendum qualification of installation qualification. So the installation qualification, you can in the change control, it seems you can add the P and ID, what are the changes in the equipment that can be covered in the equipment qualification. So no need to do the entire qualification. So I thought to explain that. And
Yeah, sir. It is good. Actually, whatever sir said, it should be useful. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your input.
Sir, one question, sir. If there is any software patch updates for any, like if you have DCS software, then what are the what we have to do for
Yeah, sir. We are understand your question. See, it is very good question. See, in our normally our IT system, OT system, see operational technology system and information technology system. See, if IT system any patches is update, there is no required for a qualification. That's why initially I told what is computer system qualification and what is computerized system qualification. If related to GMP and GLP or GXP, it should be validated, sir. If any patch updates we are going to do, definitely going to restart the system. If you have a redundancy also, if you have a backup and restoration procedure, disaster management, everything, it should be available also. So we required the requalification of patch updates because it will be impact to the our infrastructure software of CSV. So that's why it should be validated through CSV, sir.
Okay, sir. Sir, why this CSV is limited to only pharma and food industry? Why other power plants and other industries are not following this?
Sir, again, I'm coming to say it's related to the data integrity and reliability of data. So if wherever you want the data reliability, that place it should be validated through CSV.
I wanted to add in this. Actually, our pharma industry is oriented toward the human life, human being.
Yes.
So we are working toward the human health services, right? That's why it is more focused about the pharma and food only.
Okay, sir.
Because in other industry, if something is happened, if something malfunction, it will not take the human life. Only your system will be malfunction. Right. But here, by using the computer system, you are producing millions or billions of tablets or capsules that is going to be consumed by ourselves only. We don't know.
Yes, sir.
We are talking here. We are only maybe consuming that capsule, tablet, or anything.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Right, sir. Right.
It should not go wrong. That's why it is more focused in the pharma.
Okay, sir. Okay.
If any 0.001% gone wrong, then it can take up. We don't know what it will happen. It will be a major disaster.
Yes, sir. In addition to this,
actually,
if any,
Bala, continue.
Yes, sir. In addition to this, if any risk, see like civil and criminal penalties, loss of revenue, decreased confidence and reliability of data. So these are all the things it will not involve in the CSV. So these things it's not required. So the CSV is not required for that area. So that's why I'm going to say. Yes.
It is a simple language. It is a in the CSV you can add the quality of parameters. What are consuming or what are the products you're manufacturing? The parameter quality will be captured in the electronic data. So there is no chances to manipulate any data. So for example, temperature, you need to maintain certain temperature for the product. So in the computer system, you cannot manipulate any data. So without CSV, there is no, if it is manual entry, you can whatever your temperature, suppose if it is beyond the limit also, I can write it in the limit. I can, what is that? You can give the product to the this one.
Okay, sir. Okay. Sir, whether in abroad countries also, only in pharma and food they are using CSV, or some other plants also they are using?
Actually,
Sir, they are using, sir.
Validation is everywhere. But there may be in our language we are telling computer system validation. In validation, everything has to be validated. Like suppose banking software, that has to go something testing, rigorous testing and all, right?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Validation is everywhere. But term is computer system validation. It is came from the GAMP category. GAMP. It is came from the US FDA. So US FDA is limited to the drug related only. The food and pharma only. It is being used, this terminology, but validation is everywhere, because without validation nothing can be released. Even simple software we are using in the mobile, that has to be again getting tested, right?
Yes.
Because functionality we have to test. So that test and evidence is called the validation.
Okay, sir.
It is whether it is simple application or it is a crucial application, but it has to be tested, right?
Right, sir. Right.
Suppose if we are writing 2 into 2 is equal to 4, that is all. If you are writing in the Excel, then again you are validating it is giving correct result or not.
Yes.
Right.
Right,
So
sir.
everything it is again validation and testing. It is called a validation.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Rohit sir. Actually, it's a good thing. See, in addition to this, 2 lines I have to add. See, if any other industries also they are using whatever sir said, so so for that only I denoted initially. So mostly we are using USFDA and EU Annex guidelines. So that's why we are called CSV. So if any other industry we can go, that should be that software validation. It's a different name, but it should be validated. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Balganesh sir. Thank you, Rohit
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, team.
Thank you. This was a very good session, sir. We are expecting more in depth in future, sir.
Yes, in future
So
we are planning.
participant can also give the suggestion of next topic that will be good to help out the next session.
Yes, sir. That conversation is
Balaganesh and other organizers. It is a very useful sections. Okay. Thank you. Very nice section. So in the next upcoming this one, you can add some more. So in detail, you can go retirement plan, all those things.
In future, sir, we are planning for another session also for CSV part 2. And
that also you can plan, and you can plan the CSA also, new concept CSA, computer system assurance.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is must. Computer system assurance, it's very must. So we will plan, sir. This is a beautiful conversation. So all the participants, so eagerly they are participant. So thanks for all. We are expecting GMIC engineering. We are going to improve for another webinars. Okay. So yeah, sir. Thank you to all. Thank you, Swendo and team. So thank you, Ajit. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Just a moment.